How the project began with cinematography in the first term of the second half. Dave gave us a list of about 30 films. They were all quite well known and very popular films. I think all ones with 4 to 5 stars. And he asked us to watch through them. He didn't really explain why he wanted us to watch through them, but he would later explain that to us with a brief. And we were asked to pick 6 of those which stood out to you, and then to do some research sort of kinds on them. And then later on, he would explain the brief, and we would cut down films we chose to 3 films, and to do little bits of research on them. With a sticky note, we would trace the image itself, and then have it side by side. They would mind map like bits which stood out, like for instance, Terminator, how the frame was, where the hand was, or where her face was, where Sarah Connor's face was. And it's just that kind of thing that we were looking at. And I believe I did 2 of those. I think I did 3, I'm not sure. Let me quickly check. Yeah, I did 3. But one of them doesn't have really annotations to it. That was for the 2001 Space Odyssey, and I've done some quick sketches for it. And the 3 films that I went with was 2001 Space Odyssey and Terminator, along with Black Swan, which was quite a weird, very weird film, I have to admit that. We were later asked to just choose one film to make our final 6 frames from it. And I've gone with Terminator, because I felt like it had the most things going for it. It looked interesting, it was sci-fi, it's got aspects of action, and it just, in my opinion, is a very aesthetically pleasing, and I just love the look of it. Later on, after we had chosen them, or actually no, this was before we chose the last one, the last frame, or the last film we were picking, there was a thing called the Protagonist Workshop, which got us working with the main character of one of these films we chose from. I've gone with Terminator once again, because I thought it was the most interesting. I went with an image of Arnold. Can't pronounce his name for the life of me, the second name. Not even going to try. And I've gone for when he's repairing his eye. And I had a lot of help from Dave with making this piece. Because he was showing me different aspects of Photoshop, like levels, how to change the density and thickness of the black line, and changing the light to make it stand out more. And he was showing me how to do the layers, like to make the eyes, because I wasn't too sure. I was just going to paint it all with the paint pad. Luckily enough, I didn't do that, and he showed me what to do, and it was very, very helpful, and it got me more comfortable with Photoshop. That was one of the major problems I had going into this project. I'm not very confident with drawing on the pads, drawing on Photoshop digitally, but I thought it would be interesting nonetheless. And me being a little bit of an idiot, when I drew the picture of Arnold, I accidentally cut off a bit of his head when I did the transfer paper, then just scanned it in. So I had to, in the end, draw the hair, which actually did not turn out terrible. It actually turned out really, really nice. And I thought I was just chuffed with myself for doing it. And I was so happy with myself. But that wasn't really the only thing that got me more comfortable with it. It's from that point onwards, we were more focused on Photoshop. And like I said before, we were told to choose one film. And I've already explained why I chose Terminator. 6 frames I kind of went with were quite, in my opinion, iconic. It's like First one's where the dump truck and the lightning's slashing out everywhere. Next one's where he's teleported naked and he's got a little bit of lightning here and there. It's crouched down. Next one is when he's looking through, I think, a doorway at Sarah Connor, which isn't actually Sarah Connor, it's a person with the same name as her, who he accidentally kills without knowing. And it's like, the next two I went for two men shooting guns. One of them was Arnold, which was on my 5th frame. For my 4th frame, I'm not sure who was shooting the gun. I think it was the military man who was sent back in time with him. But I'm not entirely sure, because I do need to rewatch the film, in my opinion. I do need to rewatch it, as it's a good film. And my last frame is just of the Terminator rising out of the flames. The kind of things that I did with my frames, what I chose to do with them. With the first one, I tried to link it to a kind of Andy Warhol kind of thing. I haven't done research yet. I'm going to be doing that in a few minutes. I've got 6 images, 3 on each side. They're all of all different colours, and they're all of the same scale. And I thought I could definitely link that to an Andy Warhol piece, which would be a nice, refreshing bit of information. Bit of research to stick in my book, which normally I wouldn't have research. I admittedly, in my first year, my second year of college, my research was very, very bad, and I admit it, because it wasn't interesting, in my opinion. And I know it can't be helped, or actually, no, it can be helped by finding stuff that I'm more interested in. And Dave, he told me to research stuff that I'm interested in. So I went ahead and I researched like comic books and manga, and just finding out the layouts they've got. For my last 3 frames, which was man shooting, Arnold shooting, and then Terminator, I went with kind of Punisher style for the Terminator, rising out of the flames. Then after I'd made this A3 piece of work in like 3-4 sessions, I scanned it in digitally and I changed the levels of darkness to try to make the grey which I used. I think it was like a blending pen I used with my mate to kind of link to make it look more metallic. I think I achieved that quite happily, in fact. I was quite happy with the result. It just looked quite pleasing, and I've linked it back to Punisher. I don't know the artist that did the Punisher. I might research that in a few. And just bits and pieces like that. I thought it was really cool. Then for my one of the random guys shooting, I kind of went with a kind of manga style, because in manga it's quite, instead of shading, they've done hashing and cross hatching. So I've gone with loads and loads of lines using a ruler, showing the direction of the gun, direction of the movement, and I've kind of instead of making it stupidly detailed like I would do with some of my pieces, I've just blacked out his face. I've blacked out certain areas which I thought were of interest. Like, for instance, I blacked out chairs which were on the floor, showing that there was a kind of fight, and him and his gun are both blacked out, along with some of the different bits and pieces in the background, which looked like there was like gun holes or something, or fragments of lights, and I thought it just looked so cool. It's just bits and pieces like that, which I circled out on. And in the end, that was one of my final frames, and I think it turned out really nice. And I scanned it in digitally like the rest of them, because we had to make a sheet of 6, lay them out all correctly, something like that, which we'll be doing last session. Yep, last session. We're just collecting them all together, then we'll put them on a hard drive for a day, so we can just print them out, save them, so we can mark them later on. For the 5th frame, which is the one after the one I was just talking about, it was of Arnold shooting through a window, and I didn't know how to do the shattered window effect on this honestly. So I had a running out marker in my bag. I thought this could be quite interesting. If I use that pen to do a circle effect to make it look like the window had shattered, I thought that would turn out. And I kind of went a bit mental with it, honestly. The whole thing with that kind of style, certain parts like plain white area, which I didn't know what to do with, I just coloured it in with hashing. It just gave the effect quite nicely of a barrened wall, and I thought it was quite cool. If I had to do that again, I would more likely try to find a different colour, because compared to the rest of my frames, this one, my frame 5 and my frame 4, are both very dark. And I wanted to come out of my shell with that, because most of my work, admittedly, it's been quite dark. But it also links back to that manga style where they don't really use colour. But I have been trying to use colour. And I think I've used colour in quite a good way with my third, my second, my last, and my first frames. With the first frame, I've already explained what it looks like. I think it's got some pink, red, green, yellow, and some blue. And then it's got the normal one, and it just looks really cool. It's much more colourful than what I'm used to. Then my second frame, I've got him crouched down, teleported, and I've used a texture that we were giving with the protagonist workshop, which was a paint splodge of watercolour. And I've overlaid that on the background. I've changed the opacity, I think this is, to make it come through the image. And I've used colour burn, so the actual image is burnt into the colour, and it's kind of giving it a nice effect to it. It's giving that rough effect, which I like. And I did it with my first frame first, and that's of Arnold looking through the door. But instead of having just him, I decided, why not explore something? So in the end, I decided to have 3 pictures of him side by side with a little bit of a gap in between, with that colour behind. And honestly, the images look all different, and it is really creepy. It is just brilliant. I love it. I love how it looks. And if I could do that again, I would just so do it. Honestly, I want my work more to be that, more vibrant, more creative, more strange, to say. It was wicked. But I did do one thing different with each of these 3 images. I changed the levels of darkness for each of them. I think I had one the darkest, one a medium level, and then one the lowest, because they're all the different parts of the colour. So they're all different colours. Then somehow, I don't know how it happened, but in one of the corners, I think it was the bottom right corner of the picture, it became very pixelated. It looks kind of like a Pac-Man kind of effect to it. No clue how that happened. Wish I did, because I would love to do that with some of my other work. It looks so cool. It looks digital. Even though it is digital, it looks more digital in my eyes. Like zoomed in image of the colour. It was just really, really cool. The impact that this brief has had on me so far, it's made me more comfortable with Photoshop. And I've always been uncomfortable with Photoshop since my first term. And I'm not sure if I used it back then, But I'm pretty sure we had some odd workshops in the Photoshop room, just working with it. It did interest me, and it was really interesting, in fact. I just couldn't get my head wrapped around it. I've had a teacher and or LSA next to me just help me figure out what to do, or help me think of ideas, those lines. And it's refreshing. It's nice to have, because early on in this course, I was very uncomfortable around people, especially people I didn't know. And I wouldn't ask people for help back then, and I do regret it deeply, because I could have made my work all the better. But I'm just more happy that it's got to that point where I have to actually open up to people, and it's nice. I'm very happy with myself. As an artist and designer, I think this is a stepping stone for me. This is quite a large stepping stone for me to open up, move forward, and just become comfortable with my work. Because honestly, how I feel my work goes with people is, the more I hate my work, the more people like my work. Because that's happened with some of my work before. Because we were doing a tester day for the uni course at Colchester, and I was doing, I think, something like a tattoo design of something. I had to talk to someone I wasn't comfortable in class, who I talked to a few times, but didn't really know them on a personal level. And we were just asking all these random questions about ourselves, what we liked, bits and pieces like that. And we just got all these answers, and we were asked to make an illustration of this person. And we didn't have to actually draw them, we had to draw their interests and what made them them. And I've gone with Big Ben, crescent moon, a snow fox, I believe, and a quite strange flower. I can't remember the name for the death of me. Nice, and that that in fact helped me. It helped me open up, and I'm very glad I'm on this course. If I had to improve in any way, it would definitely be in the talking aspect, because I've been told by Dave that he's going to make me open up more. And with this, he's told me that after Christmas, in the next term, we're doing a new project, and he's going to make me speak about it, or speak about what I've been doing for it so far, which I'm happy to do. I'll more likely be nervous as hell. I'll more likely try to get out of it, but I will try to get it all there, all done, just so that I can get it. Hopefully, it doesn't end like every other speech I've done. Whenever I speak to a tutor about my work, start to waffle. So I want to make it short, sweet, straight to the point. And that's how I feel this course has gotten. I feel this is how the course is so far. It's just getting straight to the point, getting straight to the good stuff. It's telling us what we need to do. And I'm loving it so far.